All right. What it do? Welcome back to our 14th episode?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's 14 episodes of And the Party Games Experience. Like always, we have
DeHoffrin.
and Chaz. So, DeHoffrin, you are ready. You look like
I'm
you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go. So one of the main things that tickles my fancy this week is the Dungeon Meister, drinks mixer's guide. And I got it, just thought it would be fun to make drinks every time we do our party thing and have a specialty drink just for shits and giggles. I actually went through it and looked at it, and some of these things are very awesome. I will say that a lot of them are pretty much based off of regular drinks. There might be a little bit of a twist, but any mixed drink out there that you'd get at a bar, they just renamed it, and it is just a drink guide. But two of my favorites, the two that I started with, in one of our campaigns, we do, I play an Asimar, and so I found an Asimartini. But right here, I have a Dwarven Forge drink. And it tastes like a fireball candy. And the trick, if I can do it, is really awesome. So, mood lighting.
Got the mood lighting.
I got Godzilla.
Yeah.
From the King of the Monsters. He's blue.
Ooh. Ah.
I gotta get Rodan.
Dwarven Fire Forge. Look at the beauty of this. They do warn you and say make sure that it is out before you try to drink it. And this very much tastes like a red hot candy. It is very much a very hot peppermint, and I love it. But I love this and the Asimar. They've got other stuff in here. Let me go through some of them real quick. Dark Elf, Barbarian Rage, Holy Water, Good Berries. There is a Good Berries mixed drink. If you're a Magic player, they've got blue mana, red mana, white mana, green mana, Sonic Blast, Necromancer, and just a whole plethora. Anybody who is playing a game and having, once you get your shots and everybody's comfortable coming back in-house, I highly recommend this for your party for mixed drinks at the house. Now, most of them, I will say, when I mixed them, they seemed like more like shots. It says yields one cocktail, yields a punch. It is very small, so you do have to kind of do the math to make it bigger. This one, originally when I made it, was a shot, and I just made it bigger. But other than that is the only complaint I have with it. So far, everything that I've done has just been awesome sauce.
It's funny. It's like I love that like whole Dungeons and Dragons like food now and Dungeons and Dragons, you know, cocktails and stuff like that. It kind of immerses you in the campaign when your DM is trying to like go that extra step. You know.
Yeah, because I have the Dungeon Master or the Dungeon Cookbook that came out recently, and now I've got the drink mixology book to go with it. So it is just a good time had by all.
Yeah, because I remember about a couple of years ago when I started DMing again. When I was DMing, I wanted to like add that panache to my campaigns, and I've started realizing like how much they're starting to bring out with it, with music, with voices, with terrain and scenery, and just things are becoming more available, and then now drinks and game-inspired foods. It's like this whole entertainment package. It's great.
It is, and I fully support all of these things. I don't want to support Amazon. Not that I'm totally against them, but always support local shops whenever you can. But when I found the cookbook that everybody has now, and everybody listening who's a diehard D&D fan, I'm sure has seen the Dungeons and Dragons cookbook. And I was on Amazon and I found this, and it's just phenomenal. And like I said, these things totally increase the experience of having people over. And I think it's a fun way of adding flair to a game. You have a health potion, and then all of a sudden they make them in shots. The sizes in here are, like I said, it sells cocktails, but they're actually shot sizes. It's in the game, every time a player gives a health potion to another player, it could literally be, here you go.
Here you go. Here you go. Yeah. So now the real question is going to be is, all right, so you now have the drink menus. Now the real question is going to be is, and like the food book, and you have these ideas. Are you not going to buy the flatware and the dinnerware and stuff like that that's going to complement that?
Am I going to? Would I fully immerse myself and have wooden plates and old-time silverware? Yes.
I think your video just froze on you in mid... I think we're coming back. There you are.
There we go.
It was like you're just sitting here like...
It was a very good picture.
It was. I mean, every picture you make is good. Every
Yeah.
picture you make is good. Yes. Stuff like that.
Yes, we are not fully a professional site yet.
Oh no!
Apologize
Can't even keep
for
our kids out of our recording area. I get to record right when you lit that. That's when the door opened up, and I just hear them, and it's like I know for a fact here comes the family, just kind of trouncing in, and you're like, okay. So, but are you? So yeah. So have you started looking at things like that? Like, have you thought about what you're gonna do with that?
Yes,
No,
like I
you
said,
haven't.
with the
No, you
Yes, I have.
haven't.
I've been looking through my D&D cookbook.
No. Have you thought about what flatware, dinnerware?
Yes.
Well, okay. What are you looking at?
I'm going on anything I can find on Reddit, on you type it in your search engine on Facebook and stuff. Typically, D&D cookware, D&D flatware, steampunk type of stuff.
Okay.
A lot of it is XC, and too rich for my blood, even though the next video that I post is going to be a walk through my room and all the ridiculously high priced stuff that I'll be willing to spend on my room but people are afraid to come over to my house because I accidentally told them that it might be haunted.
Yep, you lost it. Yep. You said a figure walks by, don't worry about it. It's just maybe a ghost. Shut it down. Why do you live here? Nope.
And yes, sorry to the people for this side conversation. And I know there are people who don't believe and people who do, and yada, yada, yada. It wouldn't matter where I moved. People like to follow me and my husband. It just so happens that I personally believe that my house has a open welcome mat to anybody who wants to come in. Again, whether you believe that or not, that's totally up to you. And yes, I realize that I sound crazy when I say that, but I tried to do stuff scientifically. There were people when I would be in the front room and playing video games or watching TV, and there would be a shadow that walked across. And so it would be one of those, it might be a car driving by and the reflection of the car shining light could cast. So what do? I literally covered up every single window in my house so that there would be no outside reflections. And nobody else in the house, I would still get the shadow behind me casting, or the light, and then a shadow from whatever light casting, and I would see somebody walking by. from behind me.
Yeah. No.
I tell you, they're nice, they're friendly, they don't bother people.
Yeah, no, totally understand that. I can't do it. It was one of those situations where it's like I've come to grips on like my fears, and I've embraced a lot of the fears. So that's one of them.
So yes, I had Chaz over for one day to show off my room because when I first got it, I was totally excited about it.
Great time.
And every once in a while, I get sidetracked, and I would stop the conversation and I'd look behind me because I would see something, and I had to explain to Chaz like, "Hey, I'm not ADD. I'm not something. It's literally somebody just walked behind me, and I'm just checking to see." And Chaz was like, "All right, that's it.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm trying to get the party over because my house is big enough. I have a huge dinner table that seats 10 people." And I keep saying that when there's multiple people around the house, they tend to go off the other direction. But now, because I opened up my big fat mouth, Chaz is like, "Nope,
scared shitless."
Howdy.
I mean, I'll go outside the house and pick you up and stuff like that. And if I come over, let's put it this way, I'm gonna be uneased. And then if something happens, then yeah, I'm gonna have a problem.
And I keep saying nothing's gonna happen. If there's a bunch of people over, you would just forget about it. After the third time, it's like Chuck is full of shit.
Oh, I've legitimately had this discussion with people in my life where if I become world leader, we're gonna Godfather style, where I'm gonna be doing my inauguration, and I'm gonna have Tomahawk cruise missiles inbound to all these haunted places like that island that's off the coast of Italy. I mean, there's gonna be Tomahawk cruise missiles inbound. And I'm going to talk to the people in charge in Italy and say, hey, you can have Nantucket. Kiss that island goodbye. I mean, it's happening. I mean, there's this place in Mexico called the Valley of the Dolls or something like that. Tomahawk cruise missile.
Yes.
Yeah. Kaboom. Gone. Then step 2 of my inauguration. Step 2, folks. Step 2 is going to be the first person scientist to put a proton pack that gets ghosts like Ghostbusters on my desk. Gets their own free island. First person. And everyone always asks the same question. What if they don't want a proton pack? What scientist wants their own island? The scientist that makes a proton pack wants an evil layer. Wants their own island. Yes.
But I digress because, like I said, I don't know how many people that watch actually are interested into... And I get it. Crazy.
It's not crazy. It's what you believe in. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Remember, the people who don't like that, don't want people to believe in what they want to believe in, they shouldn't be on our channel anyways.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, me and my husband got into, not a fight, I overly got upset at him because, unbeknownst to me, he is sensitive as well to spirits. And me, I've always seen them, and I've known about them. In the house, there would be somebody that would be walking by or something, and I would see them, and I wouldn't say it to... I typically don't talk about it to people because I don't want them to think that I'm crazy. And one day, we were... And I hate to say this because you already don't want to come to the house, and this is just going to keep you further away.
Oh, you lost me at hello. I mean...
We were sitting in our bedroom and watching TV, and I saw somebody walk across the room, and I thought it was one of our old roommates. And at first, I was like, oh, okay, that's just Allie going into the kitchen. And then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, wait a minute, Allie's not here. It's only me and Mark in the house. And this was a full figure. I saw them. There was no... see-through, no, not a shadow. It was literally a person walked by. And so it confused me because nobody was in the house that I literally had to get up, walk out of the room, and look in the kitchen to see who was there. And nobody was there. And then Mark was like, what's the matter? And I tried to like, nothing. Because again, I don't like to show my crazy to people.
Sure.
And I was like, no, nothing. And he's like, did you see someone? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, did you see one of the people? I was like, you motherfucker. You're telling me you knew about this the whole time, and has yet to say something to me. But again, at the same time, I was the person that didn't say anything to him.
So he saw it, but he didn't. Like he didn't see a person.
No, he didn't see that time, but he's seen them. He knows about. I keep saying that in our backyard there is a gateway.
Yeah.
To our house. It is very much. If anybody's ever watched the Charmed or shows like that where it's like their house is on the Nexus. My house isn't on any type of thing, but because of my background, because of Mark's background, is not only can see these things, but they're kind of drawn to us. So it's not necessarily that our house has an actual portal that draws that opens up that allows people to come in and go. It's that we are so open that people feel like they can come and pass through. And so he's seen them in the past and he knows about the people. We've got one guy in the house that I call the Traveler because he's not bound to the house. He's just comes and goes as he pleases.
A few moments later.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and change subjects now.
Yes.
So, flatware dinnerware for D&D campaigns. It's funny because I know we have a local movie shop, our movie theater, Alamo Draft House, that does like the thing called the Hobbit Feast, where they'll do all three of the Lord of the Rings extended editions, and then they'll have, they'll feed you the entire time.
Yes, my husband came in to give his 2 cents. He thought I was yelling about him, and I was like, it was just a story. About who? About the people that like to visit our house.
Okay, so...
Apparently, I talk very loud into the microphone, which, listening to the old podcasts, because... Believe it or not, people, whenever Chaz uploads the new podcast, I actually listen to because I also find it enjoyable.
Yeah.
That I do come off very, very loud.
No, I've actually equaled out. I've learned how to do the audio part.
Yeah. It's because my headphones cover my ears and I can't hear any outside.
No, it's good.
That's why every time we play a game, I'm always like, am I being too loud?
Well, it's funny is like I know I got a microphone and you guys have told me I've cut out before, and I went back and I was watching one of our podcasts when I was editing it, and sure enough, the part when you guys were like, "Hey, you're cutting out," it actually turned out like it must have been on y'all's end because mine picked up everything, picked it up. So either my internet was messed up, or you guys' internet was messed. Someone's internet was messed up, but yeah. It recorded it just fine.
Well, it was just like, and sorry, people, we don't try to keep going off topic and boring you. But last podcast when I said, hey, Chaz, you keep freezing up on me, I watched the episode that you uploaded, and you're right. On your end, it was me that was freezing. So it's probably is all of our other bandwidths that it's happening to.
Yeah, it's okay.
But anyway, let's go back to...
Are you good? Are we good now?
We're good. We're good.
Go back to... Hey, friends. If you would like to learn more about DeHoffrin's life, message him and write in comments down below and tell him about your experiences with the travelers and people coming to your place, and he'll be more than happy to reply back. But with the show!
Hold on.
Oh, God,
right.
dog.
Now you put me off on another ADD sidetrack. So, people listening, watching, message me with your email. If, by watching this, you're like, I've had my own experiences, I would be happy to do another sort of show podcast on this channel about experiences that people have. Ugh. And I think it would be fun. Ugh. So if you want to share your story in the comments, if you want to put out your email or find a way to contact me, go to Facebook, look up DeHoffrin on Facebook. I have my own page, and you can I am me.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the description. Oh, I think your video. There you go.
In the description,
Nope.
and that way you can instantly message me, and we might have another chat sessions in the videos about where I talk to you guys about your own experiences. All right, so now really moving on.
Oh no, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for the dam to. We're gonna wait because I think Mark is starting to play his game now because your bandwidth is starting to kind of freeze up on you a little bit.
No, they're in the front room watching YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta shut that off. You gotta turn everybody else's devices off.
Before we started, we were listening to. We like to do YouTube music videos. We were doing Aladdin songs, Sound of Music, everything under the sun, even NSYNC, Rocky Horror.
Because it's gonna be May.
So, it's gonna be May. Yes. Guess what happens this Saturday? It's gonna be May.
We are officially have no topic for tonight.
We have topics. I just keep going off
on
topic.
Tangents. Yes. No, it's okay. So let's discuss because Alfred, you've got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's go ahead and segue into our next next topic.
Which one?
Oh my God.
Well, there's two more. So it's either the party or Mortal Kombat.
You get to dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice. All right. Let's start with parties. So we were talking about things, really cool discussion types for this podcast. And what else can we talk about trying to draw in, because we appreciate everybody that watches. We are now up to 52 subscribers.
Yay.
That is a big deal for us. And the thing is we show our videos on multiple streaming places trying to get interaction. And we're talking about what can we do to actually get you guys to interact on the YouTube channel. So one of the things that I saw that I thought would be a very good topic, and hopefully that you guys will comment. Please comment on YouTube. Not the other sites. Well, the other sites as well. But
Reddit,
also come
Facebook,
over to YouTube and comment, what is a party of 5 or more in D&D that is all the same class that can still hold up and run a campaign?
Okay.
My top pick, as I'm pretty sure everybody who's been watching these would know, is bards.
Now, would you say with your bard, for example, okay, are you going to take the same college with each bard? Are you going to do...
And that is where the sub things. And that is a great thing. And another reason why I love 5th edition over every other edition was the introduction of colleges. So, yes, everybody in the party is a bard. And by everybody being a bard, you can... Even if everybody took the same college, you are so vast in what you can do. But if you segregate, and College of Valor, College of Lore, College of Swashbuckling. I apologize, I forget the real name for it. But basically, you're a pirate.
College of Swashbuckling. It's College of Swords.
College of Swords.
Swords.
But basically, that's what it is. They're calling it a pirate without saying it's a pirate.
No, they're not. They're not calling it a pirate. There's nothing pirate about it.
It's a pirate.
No, it's not. Matter of fact, if you actually play, when you look at Tomb of Annihilation, they have to make surrogates, because if your characters die, you actually have to play a surrogate. You don't get to pick your character.
Yeah.
And the pirate is actually a paladin. There's a lot of people that actually equate pirates to paladins.
But yes,
I love how you just kind of don't even acknowledge that statement.
No, I just said yes. I said yes.
You're like
correct. You're absolutely.
But now, okay, hold on. Let's
You know me. You know me. I am very much. It is for me hierarchy of class playing.
Bard,
Bards,
a
paladin,
mile of nothing, And then
everybody
maybe
else,
something else.
no, Bard, Paladin, everybody else, Archers, Rangers, sorry,
Archers,
and
Rangers.
Monks.
Okay.
Monks and Rangers at the bottom. So, my top pick, Paladins. Or not Paladins, Bards. For the simple fact, if you become 5th level, you get the ability to play Hypnotic Pattern. And if everybody in your party has a Hypnotic Pattern, the odds of the big bad guy being able to outpower or resist Hypnotic Pattern 5 times, the odds are pretty low. So if everybody goes through their turns and get able to knock off Hypnotic Pattern, you have stopped the bad guy. But again, then there's the subclasses. You have College of Lore, which allows you to pick any spell from any other subclass. College of Valor, which basically makes you a fighter, and the added bonus of now my not inspire, my inspire. Inspire not only goes for anything that you do that is a DC check, but now I can allow you to use it to add to your attack roll. So now we're attacking. Ooh, I missed. Oh, let me roll because I was inspired, and now I get a +6. So, ooh, it hits.
Well,
and if it hits and you didn't use it, and now you could add it to your damage roll because College allows me to. So all the subclasses within Bard makes Bards, and Bards by themselves, yes, I know in the past they have been the joke. I can't kill the dragon, but my charisma will make you believe that I did. It has been the joke for the long time. But with 5th edition, Bards by themselves have just been really good players. And honestly, with a party of 5 or 6, you can go and survive. You've got the attacks, you've got the healing, you've got the spells, you've got everything in your pocket as long as everybody diversifies within the Bard.
Yeah, but okay, so take that. So I've never been a fan of one class for a whole party, okay? The reason why is I like diversity in there. Now, I used to be in the day, I used to think that the 5th and 6th slot, so in all editions of Dungeons and Dragons, they write the modules, they write the monsters, they write everything. CRs, everything is based off of 4 characters. So you have your melee, you have your arcane, you have your divine, and you have your expertise. All right, as long as you fit those 4 slots, that's what every part of the game has been designed for. Every part of the game since the late to the mid 80s, early 80s has been those 4 things. And I was closed-minded for a long time, thinking that 5th and 6th slots were just gravy. I was very opinionated on that stuff. But then I started realizing that any class, if you had all one class as a party, the DM should tailor-make the module so the players can have fun. With that being said, the Warlock and Monks are the absolute garbage of 5th edition. I don't like Warlocks and Monks because they're very one-sided. They're very niche. Warlocks have a great backstory, but it's been told there's no divergence of Warlocks. You have your demonic pack. You cast the same crappy amount of spells. You're a one-trick pony, and you're literally just a one-trick pony. Nothing you do can make that character fun to play with. They're very selfish characters, in my opinion. The monk, again, it's like when you start getting up in the big baddies, I think a lot of people think that, oh, I'm going to be a monk, I get all these cool things at early levels, and you do. You get the martial arts, you get ki and stuff like that. You get the ability to actually, hit with special powers from your fist. They do a great job scaling your fist with magical items that people in your party will get. But when you get to a certain level, your hit dice is only a D8. You're not, con's not a big deal to you. You're not going to be able to take a hit. Your AC will not get that high. You're in the front lines doing these punches, and you won't be able to take that punch. Not like a fighter, not like a barbarian, even bards with a D8. If you go Valor, okay? So I think the problem a lot of times people don't understand is when you have a whole party of bards, who's going to take the hit? That's a problem.
Everybody. Yes, there's always going to be, and that's why, like you say, it is better to diversify.
Sure.
And I get that in regular campaigns, we always play whoever gets to call it first gets to be whoever they want, and let's fill. Even online games, you play any type of World of Warcraft type of game. It's you want the healer, you want the tank, you want the fighter, you want the vast spectrum.
Because that mechanic won't adapt to a different party. So that's something I'm trying to, that's my stake for tonight, is when you look at that, the mechanic has to change from the DM. If I was DMing and all of you wanted to play bards, for example, I would tailor make the module. I would change the module so you can still enjoy it. So maybe I won't put up someone who can, go ahead.
And that's where I think you're wrong. I think there are many classes that can go out there as a full party, and how they and it becomes tactical.
Sure.
It becomes more thinking, more thought involved. But again, with the example of the bards, you've got the healer's feat. You've got the healing spells that you can do as a bard. You've got the spells that you can attack from far distances where you're not up there and hitting. You can figure out how to adapt your party to be a full party of one class and make it work. And that's the real question, is what is the best party of a single class?
Well,
is it bards? How would bards survive if it's all bards? How would fighters survive if it's all fighters? Because when you go into fighting, or the fighters, there really isn't, except for having healer kits and healer feats. How are we going to keep them alive?
Second win, you get a second win every short rest. You get the ability. You get the ability of, like you said, take the healer's feat. You also have Eldritch Knight for your arcane. You have the ability to, with the healer's kit and second win, because most battles don't last that long, and you get a lot of healing from that with action surge. So, if you look at bards, for example, bards don't get heavy armor proficiency. So when they hit melee, they're going to get annihilated. They're going to be going through like paper mache. Bards don't get multiple attacks. They maybe sort of College of Swords does it, but everybody else does it. See, that's where the DM will sit there, and because I've done this before, where everyone played this class that was very theatrical and not tactical. Which the bard is a very theatrical with tactics. And I'm sorry, but if I put you up against a tournament, or if I put you up against a module, like if I threw you up against a couple of big baddies, I'll go through a theatrical party like it's made of paper mache. But that's kind of silly because we're adults, and the whole point of this is to have fun, to escape the world, have fun. So I'll have to tailor make that, because we were playing TOA, and remember that battle you guys went up against with the two red wizards in full invisibility, with improved invisibility? Man, we have this one character in our group, one guy who is super calm, always even keel. Boy, he was getting mad that night. I casted improved invisibility on two red wizards of Thay, and I flanked them, and I was just shooting spells between them, just hitting them with spells. And they couldn't get you. They couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't see them cast spells, so no counterspell worked. They couldn't see what was going on, and they're like, okay, well, when they attack once, the spell, they're back visible now. I'm like, no, they're not. So again, I don't think any class could do it, but bards are great. But I think there's too much emphasis on bards where what healing are you doing? Healing word. It's a D4. That's going to be hard to kind of keep yourself alive at D4. Plus, you won't be casting Hypnotic Pattern because you're casting the D4 all the time.
Let me pull out.
Go ahead.
Because the bards get more. There's handbook.
Yep. The bards get
Then
healing word. They don't get cure wounds.
Let me flip.
So my top pick for that is going to be people who know me are going to really be taken back by this. But in 5th edition, the party that going by your parameters, it's going to be the cleric. 5 clerics is going to be the best option.
My second pick. Not only do they have because when I play the cleric in our campaign,
Well, first off, where's cure wounds?
Cure wounds is first level.
For
the bards, they also have
no, bards don't give cure wounds.
Yes, they do. First level cure wounds.
In bards, I'll be damned. I thought it was just. Why did you ever use it then?
I did use it.
Hey, you don't use healing word all the time.
They get healing word, cure wounds, and I wanted to say one more. That's what I was looking up was the third one. But they get healing word, cure wounds, and I might be
I swear, if you're in the cleric one, I'm gonna laugh.
And it might have been that I picked it up because I went through other people's
Spell list?
because spell lists because I get other spell lists as
At third, yeah.
Bard of Lord. Healing word. Oh, they're both. They get both of them. That's what it was. I picked both of them. They're both first level spells for a bard. Cure wounds and healing word. They get both.
But you never
They
use
have the
cure
opportunity.
wounds.
Yes, I did.
Bad bard.
I didn't use it as often. I will give you, I didn't use it that often. But because we had a party of multiple people or multiple classes where I didn't have to always expend my spells for healing, I was able to use my spells against offense.
When I look at cleric's the number one for me. Just because clerics. I know you got number 2. It's funny is maybe one day we'll do it all bards, and when we destroy them and rip through them like paper mache.
Not bards. Number 1, clerics. Number 3. Number 2, in my opinion, is paladins.
Paladins are a good second class. I would say first round. I'd say paladins and clerics. Those two could definitely go. Can definitely go just because of smite.
Smite and engage dodge. How many times have I blocked the pathway or the door as my paladin and let them come at me? Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
And just like, all right, I dodge.
Well, it's funny, like, when you look at, and you hate doing that because you can't do anything that turn. That's it. You're done. Yeah. I remember when you first started doing it, going, well, no, I want to do something else. Like, you can't. You just engage dodge. But I want to do something else. Like, no, Chuck, you can't. Well, I want to do something else. But I'll tell you what. You do whatever you want in make-believe land. Well, we're in make-believe land with D&D. Go do whatever you want at that table over there. But this table, you're dodging.
And it took me a few times to learn. But then I learned, like, what's best for the party. What should I do?
Yeah.
Yes. Stand in there. Because not only engage dodge, they come at me and they miss. But my armor class as a paladin was high enough that even if they hit me, it's like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Crap. Mosquito bite.
I legitimately think it's the cleric's number 1. A very close second is paladin. The worst to me is monks and warlocks. Just
Rangers.
Because, well, I mean, they're just one-sided.
Yeah.
They're absolutely one-sided. There's nothing about the monks and the monks and warlocks that seem diverse. And I've played campaigns from tier 1 to tier 4, DM campaigns tier 1 to tier 4. And monks have never been the ones that like do anything. You just have to talk tonight, don't you?
Yes, I do. So my husband played a wonderful monk,
Sure.
starting off early, and this was 3.5.
Yep.
Is before I got in with you. That's what I played, and it was really hard. I keep referring to old D&D as reading stereo instructions.
Yep.
And once I got to 5th edition, even though all my friends were like, "Oh, 5th edition, that sucks," because 4th edition was bad. We must assume that everything afterwards. But 3rd edition, he was able to catch a cannonball in his hand as it projectiled at him,
Yep.
catch it, and throw it back and do massive amount of damage.
Yeah, when they shot a
he
cannonball.
had a flute that he used purely for
Yeah.
character use. It was basically character flavor because that's what his character would have had, was a flute. And whenever he rests or when he wants to calm down, he plays his flute as a monk. He used it, threw it at somebody. He literally had to wear heavy, cumbersome clothing because without it, he moves too fast. So you got a character with ridiculous movement speed, ridiculous accuracy and throwing, and can use a rock that he picks up off the ground to throw at somebody and do damage. Able to catch. One time he actually caught a pirate that was jumping off another ship coming at him. He caught them and he used them, threw them back at. So you keep talking about how horrible monks are, and all I was seeing was how awesome, amazing monks could be.
Mm-hmm. So in tournament play, Dwarven Defender, I took an 80-point hit to my face and sat there and smiled. Your monk couldn't do that. My AC was so high that even when the guy does hit, he did 80 points of damage to me as a Dwarven Defender, which is a prestige class. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Took that like a champ. No problem. Then what about dervishes? We've had dervishes where they spun through demons and armies like they're paper mache, just spun through them, tumbling and all this other fun stuff. What you're talking about is fine. Those are great low level. That's what I say with monk. They're great low level characters, low level situations. But when you start getting in tier 3 and tier 4, that's where they lose. They can't keep up with the big boys. They can't keep up with the other melees. You look at melees of like the fighter who gets like 3 or 4 attacks. Even in 3.5, the monk didn't have as many attacks as the fighter does because his bonus didn't get that high. His attack bonus wasn't high enough. When the fighter got up in feats, there's no way a monk can get as many feats as a fighter does. The fighter just became this whirling mass of blades. In 3.5, the paladin, when you look at the the Oathbreaker Blackguard, and just paladins, I mean, geez, they would mow them down. The monk couldn't keep up with third and fourth tiers. And then when you epic the monks, they still weren't that much. They were more of a great, like you said, fast moving. I look at them, equate them to like a attack dog. Go get that person, hold him down so the other guys can get to him and kill him. Because, yeah, you throw the cannonball back, that's arrow catching, but you only do that once a round. You can't do it multiple times. If they shot him again, what's going to happen? The cannonball hits him in the face. He catches the one pirate, but the other 4 that jump towards him, he can't catch them. They're on top of him. Again, monks are great at low levels, tier 1, tier 2. But when you start getting tier 3 and tier 4, they can't keep up. Just like the Warlock. If you look at the Warlock, they're great for low-level tiers. But when you start getting up there with creatures with blind sight, Warlocks always hide behind their darkness. I'm going to cast darkness. I have devil sight. Ha, 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 I can see. Well, then when you have a creature that has blind sight, they're like, I can see too. Stab. Or dragons, right. Like, I don't need it. I just cast my breath into the darkness. That's when you have the one-sided. I'm talking about as one-sided. You have the Warlocks who can't cast as many spells as a wizard or a sorcerer. Bards cast tons more spells than them. And versatility. What 5th edition's done the best of when it comes to characters is the Cleric and the Bard. What they've
Yes.
done to those two classes has made those two classes the forefront of not just being a heel monkey. That's my
Right.
opinion.
And I agree with you.
But
I still say that paladins are higher than clerics, but other than that, yes, you are absolutely correct. Although, again, in the comments, along with what you guys think is the best class for a party of 5 or more to have, and the worst class, let's also talk about, because I know there's at least one person watching who's done this. Tell me your story of a campaign where you guys were monks as the Ninja Turtles. And how did that go?
oh yeah, definitely. It's a fun idea. It's a fun concept. My one of my favorite like one shots are the ones where you get to play like this famous movie roles and stuff like that.
Yes.
I came across a module where you're playing basically you're playing off the movie The Predator. And
Oh,
you're in
God.
Schult. Oh yeah, it's got high reviews on DM's Guild and stuff like that. It's definitely great. I definitely recommend someone. I'll try to link it in the comments or in the description. But yeah, excuse me. That's definitely definitely a module I would take a look at. I want to run it.
So-
I'm going to run it one of these days for my players.
So, another ADD moment. I see Chaz is actually writing down and making notes about our conversation tonight. I just want to have a quick, funny, light poke at Chaz. Every time that we've been posting videos in these YouTube things, I keep telling him hashtags. Hashtag this, hashtag that.
Hashtag
And-
me too. Hashtag here now.
And I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I went over to your house and we were talking about it, and he asked me, he's like, what's the point of a hashtag? And I had to have him actually click on a hashtag and show him and explain that when you hashtag, it brings up everything under the moon that is related to that hashtag. And he's like,
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
That-
definitely. It's funny is I don't know, like I'll be honest with you, I was embarrassingly older when I found out what Roffle meant. ROFL. I was like, what is Roffle? What is Roffle? It's funny is I've always been the technical guy, like learning the technical side of things, and I don't
Well, that-
keep up with the trends.
That's what's so funny is,
Oh yeah.
is
Oh yeah,
I
no.
always turn to you for the technical
I
stuff.
hate what the hell is a hashtag? Why do you have to hashtag this? But yeah, no, I get it now. It's like a backlink. That's totally great. Yeah, but it's so funny.
Yeah. Is I always turn to Chaz for these things, and for my personal posts on the channel of what I'm doing is like it's all Chaz. The
It makes
magical
sense, yeah.
miracle work behind anything that I
Oh,
do
it's okay.
is
The best.
Chaz. And the fact that I had to explain to
Oh
him
yeah,
and that he didn't know, I just thought
totally
was
had no
hilarious.
idea. I thought they were just funny little like clip things. I was like, who gives a shit what that is? Then when he clicked on it, you see my face. I'm like, huh? I'll be damned. Okay, I'm wrong. It's like tonight with the
And that-
cure wounds under the butt. That's not a bard spell. You're like, here it is. I'm like,
Here it
huh? All right. Yeah.
And that's why I always in the comments after Chaz has posted these videos, I always hashtag share. Not
Hashtag
only is
everything.
that-
Yeah.
Not only is it that because I say goodnight to share every episode is the hopes that by hashtagging share, she is going to finally see one of these things and like, oh, this guy every time.
Every time.
It's all about share. All right.
Let's talk about your other topic. We got about 10 minutes.
Mortal Kombat. Ooh, 10 minutes for Mortal Kombat. All right. So, trying not to give out spoilers because this movie is very recent, and I hate that anytime that I go on Facebook, I'm in a bunch of groups, and one of the main groups that I'm in is Gay Geeks, and they are everything. It's a great community to be part of. But there's always spoilers. There's always people don't wait the appropriate amount of time after a movie has come out to talk about what it was, and there's always spoilers. So I want to talk about this great movie that came out, but I don't want to give out spoilers because I want people to see it.
All right.
And
What did you like about it?
The story.
Okay, so you like the story.
No. I'm sorry. The first thing I liked about it was way better than Mortal Kombat 2.
Well, everything's better than Mortal Kombat 2. Annihilation is one
Mario
of the
Brothers?
worst movies ever.
Mario Brothers, Dungeons and Dragons.
Do you hear me stuttering? Do you hear me stuttering? Mother,
So
tonight you die.
not only is it better, acting, story, costumes, special effects, like the second movie had none of that. I had a friend in high school that went and saw it, and he came back the next day and he's like, I literally fell asleep within the first 2 minutes
one or
of the
second
movie.
one?
Second one.
Yeah, well, yeah.
First one was good. I will give you the first one that came out was good for the time that it came out. Going back to this new one that came out, so much better. Me and my husband went out to see it. The biggest downside to it that we both had was Scorpion was not as immersed in the story as we wanted.
Spoilers.
We love Scorpion, and it was like, really? You couldn't give him more of a story in this? But other than that, beautiful movie. Sonya Blade, when she first comes into the movie, kind of like it took a while for them to develop her as a character in the movie. But once they developed her and she became who she's supposed to be, great. When she first appeared and the interactions, I was like, I'm already done with this. Go off, Sonya Blade. But then she became into her own. I hate to say this because I hate it when people hype up a movie and then you go and watch it, and then the hype is so much bigger than what you hear, and then you go in and then it's not what you expected. Every time I've seen a movie, everybody hypes it up. It's like, oh my god, this is great. And then you go and it's like, it's not really as great. But Kano, he is very much the Harley Quinn of the movie. I don't believe that he could have his own movie and based off of just Kano, but he really made the movie. His campiness, his comebacks, his essence of who he was really came off well in the movie. They had... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. This is gonna be good.
The new character, it actually follows a new person that has not been into the games, and me and my husband watched the movie, and then afterwards, like, who is that? Were we supposed to know? We've played all the games, but we don't know who he's supposed to be. And yeah, they added a new character just for the movie. I thought that if they had just made a movie based off of him and his story and took out everybody else, he would have been a good storyline. But yeah, that was confusing. Was going into a movie and not having a Mortal Kombat character.
So the things I like about the movie was I like the fact that they didn't try to be anything they weren't. It wasn't trying to put in Oscar-worthy acting. I think they made some really good character choices. I think the actors did amazing interpretations of the storyline. They kept it fresh. They kept it energetic. They kept it moving. They didn't stop and do a lot of existential. They didn't make things stupid. They had fun with it, but they took it serious, but not too serious. When you look at some of the old 90s movies that are just over-the-top ridiculous, like Demolition Man, it's funny now to laugh at it, but when they were making that movie, they were like, man, we're cutting edge, and this dialogue is great, and we're going to make people think. And you're like, no, you're not making us think. You're making us laugh at you. Like, okay, you're going to Taco Bell. Sure. Yeah, the society of overly, sensitive, and I can't touch anybody, and no physical this and that. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever, you had me. but it just the show tunes. Like that's what your radio stations are, just show tunes. I mean, come on. Now, of course they couldn't fathom what we were gonna have with digital media and where we were going with like with YouTube and podcast and devices and such like that. That's fine and dandy. But this movie didn't take itself too seriously. It took it seriously like we're making a good movie, but they're not like, hey, we're going for the best picture of the year. We're fucking making the best picture. No. It's a movie about kung fu and fighting in a video game. Fuck yeah. That's what we're doing. And the actors weren't over the top.
And that's where I agree with you, was the fact that they didn't take it too seriously. They did it, and you could tell that everybody in the movie was having fun with it. And they weren't taking it too seriously, because had they turned it into, like, oh no, this is what we're doing, this is going to be the next Oscar winner, it would have been crap. But the fact that you could tell, watching the movie, that they pretty much had a fun time with it. It was very much, I wouldn't say campy. I would not lower it to the campy level, but
yeah, it's not campy
you could
whatsoever.
You could tell that with a video game series, a fighting video game series, that until recently with Xbox and PlayStation has been able to go into storylines, and you can place the storyline system in the games, that the original ones didn't really have a story and video cutaways, that they were just having fun with it. And a couple people that have been bagging on the video or the movie were like, oh my god, it's too choreographed and too many fighting scenes. It's like, but it's based off of a fighting game.
Oh, sure.
And so it's got to be choreographed, and you've got to have the fighting in it, because that is what Mortal Kombat is. You want to see the fatalities. You want to see the finishing moves. You want to see the fights.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, sorry.
Fights. Done. All right, well, we're going to wrap things up with the Dahafrin. This is going to be a pretty interesting Dahafrin goodbye note, because I think that dwarven drink is taking it. It's definitely warming your tummy.
It's warm. Dwarven fire. If there's nothing else you get out of this,
I think you should have a disclaimer of maybe not putting as much alcohol in it as you did.
Well,
hold on, the 10-minute rant. Hold on.
What gives it the fire element, the awesome fireman element, is that you have to add overproof vodka, or rum, sorry, overproof, which this is 36% alcohol per volume, which allows on the top to get the flame. And I probably didn't let enough of it burn off. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We're going to see people go, the Bard is the best. How dare you? Ooh, what is this garbage of the fighter? And my husband caught a cannonball and threw it back.
Bards, all of the colleges, everything about them. The fact that everybody could produce a hypnotic pattern. Ooh, and on top of that, if they can get a legendary musical instrument that gives negative rolls to against any bad guy that they cast a charm spell upon. Anyway,
Bards beats Battlestar Galactica.
Could you imagine Battlestar Galactica?
That's the Hoffman's goodbye. That he doesn't get a normal goodbye tonight. That's his goodbye.
If you're watching, if you're listening, we'll talk about how awesome bards are and how great any campaign is, where we could burst out into song anytime in the campaign. Everybody watch Julie and the Phantoms. I need the second season. Winx Saga. They've already talked about having a second season to that. So that's coming. But I want the second season. I want the second season of Julie and Phantoms. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, just remember, folks, You don't have to be a person who can sing to be a bard. They can rap too, and their brains are dead dis, not like dis. Have a good night.